can't forget the day we met. Your eyes so blue, me piercing through. I can't forget the day we met. Your smile so bright, it made me swoon. Our love is like a summer's day, hot and endless in a magic way. Whenever I see you, all I can think is my summer love.
How much is that sweet?
Yes, it's on it! Woo! She has to just literally like 13 things for that, and loads of pictures of me because I take them when she's not looking.
How much is that sweet?
25p. This is my sister. She's asking how much my sour lollipop was. Okay, so today with a very oh wait, requested video. We're doing scary animations because we love that for us. As you can already see by the title, we're gonna do like an intro, even though you just seen an awesome video that we made like a week ago.
2. No, not 2.
It wasn't even a week ago. It was like 5 days ago.
It was on the weekend.
We did it on Saturday because we went to Buddies. Insert photo, which probably won't be inserted, but we went to Buddies. Check out my Instagram. It's LC, as you will have seen from the start, it's LCLouXX_. So if you want to see photos from Buddies, let's get it. Anyway,
And check out my TikTok.
yeah, it's mine's private, my TikTok and my Instagram. But if you follow me and tell me you're a fan, I'll let you. You know, I'll be like, "Sup, babes? What's up?" We've hit 26 subscribers, which is pretty cool.
Thank you for everyone that subscribed.
Yes. Anyway, back to the whole thing. I'm Elsie.
I'm Lara.
And we're
Did you react?
no, I didn't say that yet. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment down below what your favourite part of the video was.
Comment down below what you want us to do next.
We're double digits, and let's get straight into the video. It's double digit react. We're double digit react, and let's get straight into the video. Let's get to what happened.
La 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 la.
Oh, we're reacting to around.
Oh yeah, McDonald's restroom scary story.
I met a terrible creep in the McDonald's restroom.
Boy, oh my god, she's pregnant. I wouldn't know.
The day started out normal. I met a terrible creep at a McDonald's restaurant.
Move up.
I was running errands with my husband one day when I was 6 months pregnant. The day started out normal as we took the subway together.
Not too high,
All of a sudden, I felt nauseous and I could feel that I had to vomit immediately. I quickly gave my bag to my husband and told him I had to run to the nearest bathroom.
Which is McDonald's, makes sense.
I bolted away at the next stop as I could not hold it in any longer. As I exited the underground, I ran into the nearest restaurant, a McDonald's. I hurried to the bathroom, where I passed a middle-aged man who was standing at the entrance of the bathroom. I paid no attention and pushed past him to get in. As I finally arrived to the bathroom, I immediately started puking. I never felt so sick my entire life. That's when the door handle of the bathroom started moving. I quickly pushed the door to keep it closed and yelled that it was busy. But the person on the other side pushed back. As that person managed to push harder, I saw the guy that was at the entrance. He had curly hair. I freaked out and slammed the door shut and started yelling for help. The man was insistent and kept trying to get in. I started puking again, so I was left trying to hold the door with my foot as he kept banging it harder and harder.
I will throw up the
I continued yelling in the direction of the window of the stall as I heard people saying that there was a girl who needed help. Suddenly, the guy stopped banging the door and everything got quiet. I tried to calm myself down while still holding the door shut just in case. Then I saw curly hair and a hand trying to get me from under the door, which had a pretty large gap. I started screaming again as I started kicking his face. At this point, I was desperate. I had no phone, no bag, and my husband was probably roaming the city looking for me. Then I heard a man yell, and the creep suddenly getting away quickly. I kept the door shut when I heard a male voice telling me to come out and that it was okay. I reluctantly opened the door to find the manager of the McDonald's confused and shocked. I told him what happened and he called the police. With all the commotion, my husband finally found me. When the police arrived, I gave the police a description.
Yeah.
but they never found the guy.
Yes, Sky? It's dinner time. That means we have to start the video again. That means we have to start the video again and react to that same thing again.
Why?
Because I need. Okay, we can pause it. I'm just going for dinner.
Oh.
BRB, guys! Wait. 26 subscribers, you know? Okay, we will be BRB!
Eddie's gone. She's not gonna know about this. Huh? Just don't tell her in the comments. Alright?
Guys, I'm currently editing and I'm so confused. What's the actual hell is this? Oh my god!
Okay, fine. That was like ultimate cringe. Next, reacting to a creepy guy breaks into my house. Elsie is still not here, so I'm just going to tell her to not say the title.
You've already done that. Okay, we're back. We're back! I just had my dinner and now I'm carrying on eating my lollipop. And let's just get into the next animation.
I have a little powder in mine.
It's not even sour. Anyway.
I am a 19-year-old male,
Hi, 19.
and this happened many years ago when I was very young. To give you an idea of the layout of our house back then, the living room has multiple windows that directly look out onto the back garden. There's a big gate in our driveway to stop anyone from getting in. Next to the living room is the kitchen, which also has more windows, but also the back door. This will be relevant to the story. So my mother was completing the household chores as she does one day. I was sitting in the living room watching television on the sofa with my back to the living room windows.
No.
All of a sudden,
I'm not going
I saw
right now.
a figure reflecting off of the picture frame hanging on the wall opposite the window. I asked my mom if my dad was back from work, to which she said no. I'll never ever forget the look of horror on her face when I told her that yes, he was. He's in the garden. She looked outside the window and almost had a heart attack when she saw a scruffy-looking but fairly built man outside the living room window. This didn't seem to faze him at all, though. He psychotically smiled at my mother through the glass, and my mom asked him what he was doing on our property. He said nothing, with the same sadistic smirk on his face. She said that she was going to call the police, and what he said is one of the scariest things I've ever heard. He screamed at my mother through the glass that if she even got her phone out, that he would break the glass. She did not know what to do. She paused and tried to rapidly think of what to do next, how to keep us both safe. She wanted to protect me by calling the police, but she also didn't want him to hurt me if she did try to call them. As soon as he saw that she was terrified, he ran for the back door. Luckily, it was locked because my mom has always been a paranoid person. So she always locks the doors. He screamed at her to let him in, or if she didn't, he'd find a way in and kill us both. My mother told him to fuck off.
You're just like,
She raged him, and he pulled out a pocket knife and began bashing hard against the windows. I was still oblivious to what was happening, as I just thought I was very young. My mom frantically grabbed me, and I don't mean picked me up. She literally grabbed me off the sofa and booked it up the stairs. We were backing up in the upstairs hallway, looking for anywhere to hide, when my mom's younger brother popped out of his room with his headphones on. My mom didn't even realize he was home, and he clearly didn't hear the commotion downstairs because of his headphones. My uncle was 25 at the time and was really well built. He's intimidated a lot of people. My mom cried and told him that there's a guy who's trying to break in. While she's telling him this, that creepy lunatic screamed from downstairs that he was in the house. He said cynically, "Boogeyman is coming out to get you, which really freaked me out. It freaked me out so much that I actually remember that to this day. Anyway, since the guy didn't know my uncle was home, he kept yelling and telling us to come out and that it wouldn't be painful. My uncle told us to lock ourselves in the bathroom and call the police. We did, and after 5 minutes of groaning and blatant violence downstairs, the police stormed in and found the guy bloodied and my uncle on top of him, beating him mercilessly. My uncle really didn't hold back. Turns out that he was a known pedophile, which is why he was watching me for so long while I was watching TV.
Got a
After that
secret,
day,
can you keep
my mom
it?
was terrified to be home alone at the house. I loved it as a child because I found her running and hiding fun. Obviously, because I was young. I can never thank my uncle enough for being there at the right time when my mother clearly forgot that he was still home. It honestly gives me chills, wondering what he would have done to my mother and myself if my uncle was not there.
Okay. We should react to one more and then that's it.
Okay.
And then we'll make a part 4.
No, you're not.
Yes, not today, but we're gonna make a part 4.
We're already late behind.
We're late behind.
Within 2 days.
Oh yeah, on videos, sorry guys, we filmed 5, but we didn't like any of them.
And they both are trash.
I've been followed by creeps before, and in one case was almost assaulted. I was never truly scared about that type of stuff. I've been through a lot in my life, and I consider myself to be pretty strong. Even when some creep attempted to assault me, I wasn't scared because I knew I was gonna beat his ass. I never feel threatened unless I get my gut feeling. I know when something bad's gonna happen, or if someone is a shady character, etc. My friends tell me I have some type of sixth sense. I'm not one for superstition, but I also have to agree it gets really weird, and I'm almost always right. One day, I got the worst gut feeling I ever had in my life. I was in my first year of college, living in some very nice apartments. I loved living there. It was a Friday, and I needed to head to the bank before it closed because I forgot to cash in my check beforehand. I left my house, locked the door, and started heading towards my car. Right as I left the hallway of my apartment complex and started walking, a beat-up rusty truck pulled up as if on cue. There were 2 guys inside. One was a pretty big guy with tattoos and looked like he just got out of prison, and the other one was super skinny with glasses. The second I laid my eyes on them, I had my gut feeling kick in. It was worse than usual, and I immediately felt like shit. I was driving and
We need a
started to
beeping
tell
app
me
for
things
this one.
like, "You are so
gonna put, like, an emoji
beautiful,
over my
come
face.
over here, let's go. You're the most beautiful girl I've ever seen." I didn't want to walk to my
we
car
tried to
because I
beep it
didn't want
out.
them to know what car I drive. And I didn't want to walk back to my house because I lived on the first floor, which is easier to break into. And if they didn't know already where I lived, I wanted to keep them from finding out. So I started walking to the front office of the apartment complex, which was a little far away. I already had my pocket knife out, but hidden in my sweater sleeve. They kept calling out, trailing me as I walked to the office. I kept my eye on them so I knew what they were up to. They eventually asked me to go to a party with them. The big guy said, "We're having a party at 2 a.m. at a friend's house who lives here. Wanna come? We can all hang out beforehand and get to know each other before we go." It was around 3:30 p.m. at the time, just for your information. I ignored them and told them, "No, stop bothering me." They kept trying to persuade me by saying nice things and stuff, and eventually they both said, "If you come with us, we'll give you a free
We'll only be
pair
like
of
2 minutes, that's all
shoes."
we've got left.
The skinny guy then leans back and starts digging around the back seat. I stopped to look because I wanted to make sure he wasn't gonna grab a gun or duct tape or some shit like that. I was a good few feet away from the truck and took a running position just in case. He pulls out a dark blue suitcase from the back seat and opens it. Inside there are maybe 100 different pairs of shoes. The The sizing ranged from a small pink Dora the Explorer shoe to an adult-sized woman's stilettos. That's the moment where my gut feeling went into a frenzy. My knees became so weak, I threw up on the spot. I've never felt so sick and felt so disgusted in my entire life. I felt pure evil. I screamed no, and they became extremely angry and began to get out of the car. I booked it. In the street, my neighbor's little kids were playing outside. I snatched them up and ran all the way to the front office. No way I was gonna leave these little kids behind with some fucking freaks. The minute we